Honor sounds good, but if history is written by the victors, wouldn't you rather win? Welcome to Deep Thoughts While Gaming. I'm Chris Chappell. In Ghost of Tsushima, released last month on Steam before being delisted in 170 countries, you play as Lord Jin Sakai, as he experiences the emotional damage of having his island being invaded by the Mongol horde, having his value system shattered, and seeing his friends die. All beautifully rendered, allowing you to almost feel the blood splatter as those you love get decapitated in front of you. With a story that is both moving and captivating, presenting breathtaking vistas, unforgettable cutscenes, and memorable characters, but also choices laden with consequences, and the constant feeling that you're gonna disappoint your dad no matter what you do. From the beginning, the path is clear. Save your people, defeat the invaders. However, the question of how best to achieve this goal will haunt you throughout the game, as you consider whether you'll try to live up to the impossible standards of honor or do what is necessary to save your people. Will you fight in accordance with the samurai way, as your uncle and father figure Lord Shimura has taught you? Or will you become the Ghost of Tsushima to win what otherwise seems to be a hopeless war and forsake your honor? And what is honor exactly? The Routledge Encyclopedia of Philosophy describes it as living up to the expectations of a group, in particular in keeping faith, observing promises, and telling truth, and also as the disposition to fulfill promises and commitments, whether explicit or implicit, made to other members of a group. Both definitions then represent honor as a communal value, based around the expectations of those around you. This view would likely be supported by Lord Shimura, as Lord Sakai's tactics may bring results, but are ultimately viewed as destructive to the culture. He prefers facing the enemy head on, even if it means certain death, maintaining the values he wishes to see in the world even at the cost of his own life if necessary, which Lord Sakai thinks is stupid, as every time he saves a village, kills a tyrant, or saves the day, Lord Shimura has a problem with it and nags our boy about honor. At some point, we as the gamer can't blame him for being a bit frustrated. But when the enemy starts using our own tactics against us, demonstrating that we taught them how to coat their arrows in poison, Shimura's cold view starts to become a bit more defensible, giving the gamer a possible "crap, Dad was right" moment. And perhaps this is even representative of Japan's own experience going up against a greater power in World War II, where it could be said that Japan lost its honor in its utilization of tactics such as giving a form of meth to pilots and turning them into kamikazes. Or in a historical context, it also could be understood from the other perspective, with the US unleashing the dangers of nuclear war on the world, in a sense much like the poison arrows represented the birth of a new era of warfare in Tsushima. Either way, it's an interesting experiment to consider how the developer's heritage influenced their game, and what the game as metaphor could possibly have meant to them. The interplay of right and wrong is a huge part of what gives the game its character, with actions that are considered wrong often being, if not right, at least the ones that lead to the desired end the fastest, with the least casualties, at least in the short term. As until we get that DLC, we won't know the true implications of teaching a marauding empire of horse archers to use poisoned arrows in combat. So who knows? Maybe Lord Shimura is right. But maybe there are other views in relation to honor. Because when the enemy is bigger than you, with a bigger club, are you really wrong for giving him a good, strong kick between the legs? The warrior code of Bushido doesn't think so, with honor, Meiyo, being one of the 7 principal virtues of Bushido, with its understanding of honor being warriors have only one judge of honor and character, and this is themselves. Decisions they make and how these decisions are carried out is a reflection of whom they truly are. And maybe you're okay going through life kicking every problem between the legs. I mean, the enemy brought cannons to a sword fight. I just poisoned his milk. Who's really the bad guy here? If I don't have my own cannon, I have to do what I can, right? Well, maybe, but the UN doesn't think so. Because the rules of war we use today, also known as international humanitarian laws, tell us that chemical warfare is a no-no. But with Russia and Ukraine both claiming that the other side is right now using chemical warfare, and neither Israel nor Hamas seemingly caring about the opinion of the UN, outside when it supports something they're trying to do, we have to wonder if having an international conception of honorable war even makes sense, as every definition of honor we've given so far is either based on the principles of the community or the principles of the individual, possibly making the idea of international honor a kind of falsehood, pushed more by Western ideology, which believes that some lines cannot be crossed, but not necessarily agreed upon at all by seemingly a lot of the world. We in the US may give our prisoners of war milk and cookies, but don't go off joining the army thinking everyone feels the same about your one free phone call and human rights. Something that Lord Shimura understands very well after seeing the grandson of Genghis Khan, and main enemy of this game, Khotun Khan, dishonorably set one of Shimura's friends on fire after he dared to challenge the Khan to a one-on-one duel. So after seeing that, is he really expected to do the same? To take the harder path of confronting your enemy head-on when your enemy doesn't hold the same respect for you? This moral question is mirrored in the gameplay and combat of the game, with becoming a good swordsman and being able to play on the monstrous lethal difficulty, where you die after 1 or 2 hits, being a full-time job, with 4 different stances to master, each having strengths and weaknesses against different types of enemies, and a lot of moments where you are outnumbered. You may find yourself thinking, I'd really rather just play the easier difficulty and hide in that bush. And hiding in that bush works great, especially when you have a poison blow dart. In fact, it works almost infinitely better than challenging every single person you see to a duel, with the latter being the better way for players to never reach the ending of the game, as Lord Shimura prefers dying with honor and all. Thanks, Dad. Lord Shimura may just have to accept that if the Mongol horde brought a cannon to a sword fight, I may feel it's fair to be a sneaky boy sometimes in response. And at the end of the day, just like the warriors of Bushido, who decide their own honor, maybe I'm not too upset about doing what I have to get the edge. Just like well-known heavyweight fighter Rampage Jackson, who on the Jackson podcast said he used to hide chalk in his socks to give himself more traction in his fights, proving that everyone is hiding in the bush in one way or another. Maybe Lord Shimura's view on honor were never actually viable, more of a fool's hope than something real, as steroid use used to be seen as dishonorable, and now every bodybuilder and 20-year-old are on them. Hiding from the enemy used to be dishonorable, but we use drones and missiles now, so... And never leaving your parents' house used to be dishonorable. Being a full-time child is apparently a job now. The person who views honor as an intrapersonal value, and in a sense frees themselves from having to treat it as a value at all, has an advantage over the person bound by tradition and community values. And the winner sets the score, with the best we can say about honor possibly being that it's a good value doomed to forever lose its luster as we race to the bottom of what we're capable of. At least it's pretty to watch in Ghost of Tsushima. Thank you for watching Deep Thoughts While Gaming. And remember, honor doesn't have to die today. Subscribe to our channel and help us keep freedom free in the land of the free. And we have a new Patreon over at patreon.com/gamersunbeaten, or you can hit that join button and become a channel member. You'll get access to an exclusive Discord server, live streams, videos, emojis, and unquestionable honor. And here's a video YouTube thinks you'll like. The algorithm knows you better than you know yourself. There's no dishonor in that.